Recording in progress.
Good morning, Coach. Sorry. I always want to call you Coach Landon. Why is that?
Crazy. I don't know. It's crazy. I hate that.
Mr. Landon Dietrich, good morning. There's no more goatee. That's unfortunate. How was your weekend?
Goatee is gone. We
What's
tied a
that?
game on Saturday, so I was like, no more goatee. We can't be tying games. Okay.
Tying games? You guys tie games?
We had a tie, and I was like, this is coming off my face.
You should
Uh,
tell the umpire, no, we lose. They can have it.
Dude, it was so unfortunate because it's about the time limit, right? So it's like you got like I'll tell you what, it's all about like you have to switch pitchers like in a good manner to where like you might have to waste some time or you might not be able to change pitchers out because you're trying to hurry. It's a crazy situation. So like the 10-year-olds won their championship this weekend and it was 6-5 in the last inning and we had 5 minutes left. So the other team hurries out to try to get another inning. And if they whip through this inning in 5 minutes, they get another inning to hit.
Mhm.
And so they're like, hey, we want to hurry. We want to hurry. And so we're going up there and like I'm giving signs every at bat like
Yeah.
I normally do, but everybody thinks I'm like stalling time. Like I'm just
Like, I'm just giving signs.
in the most infuriating part, that was a good team, and I like their coach and all their stuff they do. But like, they took so long between innings. I mean, 50 warm up pitches. I was like, can we play the game? The umpires are sitting in the shade. I'm like, the game needs to go on. Like, hustle on and off. And then, like the last inning, it's like 5 minutes left, no warm up pitches. Everybody sprints their spot and is ready to play. And they're like yelling at me to get my guy ready. I'm like, my kid just thought he's going to have a 30-minute break because y'all have taken so long between innings. So anyway, we get out there and he gets a base hit. So that pretty much seals the deal that this is not going to get done in 5 minutes. So that was one side of the extreme. And the other side of the extreme is like then the 11-year-olds, they played up in 12U and they were in their championship game. It was also 6-5, but we were losing. So we had to do a quick inning. And we were like, hurry, hurry. You're telling the kids to hurry, but also you don't want to like rush the pitcher either.
Right.
It's just a huge ordeal, man. The time limit is so stupid. That's not for baseball.
What is it, hour 30?
Hour 30, and on Saturday it's like drop dead. Like it just ends when it ends. And so you always want to be visitors and it's whatever. But it's, on Sunday, championship Sunday, it's finish the inning. So like if you start a new inning within the time limit, you get to play another inning. And so like there's like, dude, people get out on purpose. People do like switch pitchers or catchers on purpose. Like it turns into this big fiasco that's just not good for the game.
Right. Is there, other than, I guess, not towards the end of the game where you're worried about the shot clock, or is there ways that like you're trying? Because my thing is like if you play a bad team, or if your team is bad, you'll hit once. Like guys at the end of the
Yeah.
lineup only get one at bat.
Yeah.
Like what are you doing? Like are you making sure that your guys get? Because my biggest pet peeve when I go to watch games is guys not getting on and off the field. Like it takes
Yeah.
if it's an hour and a half and the team is dragging ass on the other side, it'll take them 15 minutes to get on the field and get going. It's my biggest pet peeve.
Dude,
Are you telling guys to get on the field, like get it
no,
going?
no, I think I told you this, but we've played with 8 this season. We played with 8 guys because we couldn't run on and off the field. Like it's supposed to be, we try to limit our warm-up pitches. We try to get out there on the field and get it done. And like we don't need to just be throwing the ball around playing warm-up because you have to play the game. Like in some Saturdays, the game's an hour 15. It's like you're gonna get 3 innings in at most
Yeah.
with the kids playing. And if another team sucks, we're gonna hit for 35 minutes. But yeah, they won't get all the way through their lineup. It's horrible. It's I could sit here and tell you the joys and the horrible parts of select baseball. And honestly, I don't know how to fix it because the shot clock is so bad. But you know what else is bad? Playing on Sunday and the game's going 2 hours overtime and the kid's never getting home and it's like 12 o'clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go home. And that's unfixable unless you have a shot clock. Like that's the only thing that keeps 8 games in a row on. Because if you have a long inning, the last inning, and you score 15 runs, it's like, bro, now we're 45 minutes overtime.
I see it from both sides because like these tournaments, they have to get games in. If they have 30 teams, like you can't go for 2.5 hours because then you'll be there till 3 in the morning. Um,
Right.
but I mean, I guess it's just one of those factors that you have to keep in mind as a youth coach.
You know what else too? I think this is really good that they do this, but they decide games like pool. So there's always going to be like two pool play games, and if there's a big tournament, there could be three or even four teams that win both of their pool play games. So then the next factor goes to runs allowed. Best thing they ever did, because if it was runs scored, I mean, we would be stealing up by 20, right? And if it was run differential, same thing. But like, you really don't have to pour it on a team. Like, if they're not going to score and you know that, it's like, okay, we don't really have to pour it on them. Like 15-0, we can stop stealing. We can play the game base to base and do what we're supposed to do, and it's fine. But I always think about, like, if it was run differential or run scored to determine the tiebreaker, dude, like, people would be it would be tragic. I mean, people would be running up to score. We'd be in the first inning on some of these games. Some of these games are so lopsided that we could hit for an hour.
Right. Right. And I've never had to think about this stuff because I don't coach.
Well, you're gonna one day, and you're gonna be like, dude, I need to know some of this, and it's like, and you know who's the best at this stuff is like the dads that make a team. Like, they might not know ball. Like, they don't know how to line up double cuts, but like when it comes to strategy, they're like, well, if we switch our catcher here, we can do that. And I'm like, dude, I'm just
Well, you
trying
know
to.
what? I think
Yeah.
that's a Texas football thing. That's
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
total football 2 minute offense type thing right there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're like, dude, I'm just worried about the guy at the in the box. But you're like, hey, that's you got if you want to win, you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. It really is. I think it's big. I
Yeah,
learn more and more every day.
right. It's so funny. That long games remind me of when we were in rookie ball. Like every other level had a pitch clock and like they were getting done. I remember like JY telling me in double A, they were getting games in 2 hours 20, and we're there for 3.5, 4 hours in 115 degrees. Oh man.
Man, dude, we were the ones that really needed it, right?
I know. Yeah.
Most of the guys with some feel, like college ball players, dude, we used to finish games in college. Like, if it was like a getaway day and we were playing a doubleheader with 7 innings each, we could finish one of those 7 inning games. We finished one in like an hour 20. Like, it was like
Right.
7 innings like that. Like, because the pitchers were dealing, and most of the time on those set, you got like a crafty lefty that's just gonna hammer strikes. And if like, a guy gets on, even the strikeouts, like, all right, throw it around. It's like, boop, 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 back to the pitcher, and he's ready. And I'm like, gee, we're on and off the field quick. 5 warm-up pitches, we're ready to go. And it's when you finish a 7 inning game in an hour 20, you're like, this is ball,
Yeah. And that's a good thing. We could talk about that a little bit. Like for players out there and coaches out there, like I'll have players that are slow, like in the cage getting batting gloves on. They're just sloths and snails, and I'll go see them play. When you get to college, even for me, like in California, baseball was good. High school baseball was good. Travel ball was good. You get to college, and it's like, because now it's like if you play high level college, there's TV money on the line. There's commercials. You get a minute 20 between innings. Guys are
Yeah.
like getting it going, and if you're not ready, you're not going to be ready up top mentally, and you're going to get dominated in the box. So like both sides of it. If you're, and I'm sure you do this because you have feel and you're Landon Dietrich, the man. You can speed teams up like that. Like if your guys
Yeah.
are ready to hit and the other team's not ready, you're like, oh, or maybe I don't know. Do you see that?
No, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I try to go along with the field thing. It's like, it depends on the team, right? Because there's some teams that know exactly what they're doing and they're very good, and they're good teams. And it's like there's a mutual respect almost. And some teams I just plain don't like. I'm like, I do not like these guys. And so we can do stuff like that. But also sometimes, and most of the time, we play some poor team that some dads put together. And it's like, Okay. Well, like it's not a big deal. Like, let's just do our thing and let them do their thing, and it is what it is. But man, yeah, I think I don't know. It's hard when they're kids. They're 10, they're 11.
That's
They don't know what's going on. I think when you get, and we have never purposely hit somebody because I don't want to teach the kids that, but also like that's going to be part of the game too, which is so weird. Like, what age are you like, giving the catcher the middle finger sign and being like, hey, this guy bat flipped on us?
Yeah,
Get him. That's in parents. I know you don't understand this and you always think that's so frowned upon, or maybe you don't. But like, if somebody's taught, you gotta, baseball polices itself, and that's something Barrel Factory Baseball has not gotten into yet. But like, I promise you, like somebody's like over there clapping on the bags. I hate that.
Oh
Somebody's
my God.
here we go, pitcher. Hey. I'm like, dude, okay, next guy's getting hit. Like, that's just like, sorry, dude, there's so much.
Right. Give him an elbow in the rib cage a second when he's leading off. Just
so much that needs to be taught to these kids, dude. I swear.
Yeah. I don't know. The games, that's a good point too. Like, there's so much stuff in baseball that you just kind of learn, I guess, via osmosis. I don't know.
Yeah. Somehow.
You what?
You learn it somehow. It happens. And I remember the best example of having to hit somebody on purpose is like, the Astros, we were in rookie ball and the Astros hit our catcher. And it was because he was jawing a little bit, or they threw it inside to him and he leaned back and he kind of jawed at him a little bit. So where's the next pitch going? Wham, right there. And it's like, great, he got hit. So Glavin went back out on the mound. And that's, at this point, that's his catcher. And their team's catcher is up to bat. So who do you think's getting hit? Absolutely, right? So it's like, okay, we're going to hit him. There's ways to do it as well.
Yeah,
like,
and there's even ways to hit people.
Right. You're not throwing it right here where you can hurt him. You want to hurt him, but you don't want to injure him. You just want to hurt him. So it's like he's up to bat, and Glavin did it perfect. It's like, I get it. His dad was a 15-year big leaguer, or how many ever years. So he knows exactly what to do. He throws 91 and he hits him right in the meat of the butt cheek. Like, bink, right there. And everybody's like, oh, hey. And he was like, slipped, man. Sorry. First pitch, didn't waste a pitch to do it. First pitch, wham, fastball, butt cheek. And it's like, that hurt that guy, but not that bad. All it did was prove a point like, hey, one, don't be talking mess. Don't be hitting my guys or you're going to get hit. And that's how baseball, that's ball, dude.
Yeah, it's just ball. Yeah. That's so funny. Let's just keep the thing moving. That was good. I like that. What is it? Mechanics Monday. And we're actually filming on a Monday today, which is it's phenomenal. Usually Landon has the Mechanics Monday. I have it today. We're talking about how you're getting off of your backside without crashing forward. And this is something that I have. Every hitter's different. Obviously, there's some guys that love to jump forward, and there's some guys that love to get stuck in that back leg and kind of spin. So you go first. I'm curious because you're smart, and right. I'd love to hear what you have to say about that.
Well, I'm smart. I think I'm sure when we talk, since you stayed back too much, and since I lunged forward too much, that I'm going to say something about, well, I always had to think about staying back, and you're always going to think about getting forward. And so that's great. And I think we did the reverse of this last week, but that's fine. Have you seen those clips of like Mike Trout or Mookie Betts where it's like they're on a video and there's like a circle on their head right here, and then it's like they load and land, and then their head's right here and the circle's over here, and it's like, look, hitters, you can move your head. Yeah, you can. You got to get a forward positive move. When you have to stay still is when your front foot hits the ground. That's when your head can't move. So, like, you want to limit your movement and your load. I get it. But also, I think you have to get to the athletic position where you're like riding the horse, So it's like, here's my turn to get up.
That's right.
So it's like some people have to do this little toe dip thing where they're way back, where they're like back here. But also, if you're not getting off your back leg, you have to get. Now I'm riding the horse, right? Like, I'm athletic right here. I could guard you in basketball. Hey, ball. you know. so so that's where you need to be is athletic. If you're a hitter at Barrel Factory, you're probably staying back in your back leg because I had to. And but there's a few guys, actually a few guys that even this week I said like, hey, you got to get off that back leg because you're getting stuck. Doesn't happen often, but it happens.
Yeah. You described it perfectly because even with the Nationals right here, these guys, um,
Repping.
at least the minor league. So at least for me, I gravitated towards our minor league hitting coordinator, Troy Gingrich. You know,
Oh, I love Troy, man.
Troy was great. Like, I love Troy. However, for me and my, because I was just trying to buy into whatever he was saying because like he was an important figure and like I wanted to do what he said. He was a huge weight back on the back leg guy. So I remember there was one point where I was setting all my weight in my back hip and like very light on my front leg. Come to find out, that didn't work for me. So when I was retooling after I got fired from the Nationals, I figured out that personally I needed to get off it just to feel 50-50 in the ground or feel more athletic because I was a get stuck spin guy. Um, and there's a fine line, like you said, if you watch guys like Mookie, who when he lands, he's completely off of his back. Like there's no weight on his back leg. He's almost, I guess, a crash forward guy. But like you said, when his foot lands, he's athletic enough to land and stop that weight transfer.
Yep.
Stops it before he goes. And I think Trout is kind of in the middle where he gets off that leg, but he gets to 50-50. Like he's not like if you split Mookie in half when his heels are in the ground, he's more towards his front leg, which is crazy to me because I don't know how he can hit breaking balls or how he can control, different spin. At least for me, the control I feel is in your back leg and in your back heel and in your hip. If you have control of that, you can control that forward move. Versus, I think if you're working knee over your back foot, like if your back knee goes over your back toe, that's when guys get either stuck or that's when guys push off it and then jump forward because you have no control of that hip. So I talk a lot about with my guys, a better hip hinge and feeling like you're sitting into that back hip as you load forward.
It should be like that.
Right.
Not too much, but just like that's the exaggerated move as this back hip goes back and you work forward a little bit. So it's like a coil and a forward move. It is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. But yeah, no, Troy was definitely a stay back in your back leg guy. And dude, I'm telling you, that's exactly who I am. It's just because there's not a right and a wrong, but I wish I knew better what hitters needed to be where. Because I got hitters that stay in their back leg too much and get stuck, and I can see that. And I got hitters that like really need to stay back bad. Like they are like lunge. And it's like I'm like, hey, bro, because that was one of my biggest problems is I was just drifty. And so staying back is huge. And now I got hitters that stay back too much. And now I got hitters I got to work on getting forward with. And it's so uncomfortable for me to work on a positive move with a kid because I'm like, it makes me like shiver. Like I'm like, ugh, like I might throw up.
Because I was like you my whole career. And I was taught keep your head still. Don't go forward. Keep your head still. And then there's guys who are like, okay, you know who you know Gradam swings? You ever heard of them?
Nope.
They're he works with guys like Willie Adames and I think JP Crawford. I can't remember. Anyways, he's a Latin guy. He's from either Cuba or the Dominican. He works out of Miami, and he talks about a forward move. But all the videos that I see from him is like an aggressive forward move.
Yeah.
And then there's the opposite side of that, where there's like the teacher man guy or guys of that style who are like hitting what do they say? I can't remember. It's like rear-legged. You hear that phrase?
I hate the teacher man.
I'm sure you do.
I've never met him. Burning passion to not like that guy.
I'm sure you don't like that guy. And hey, I personally think he's like a comedian. That guy is hilarious.
Yeah, it's a joke, man.
It almost seems like a bit. Um, but like that stuff gets exposed. Like Aaron Judge, you don't watch the World Series because you are busy. Aaron Judge, I don't even think he's hit the ball yet. Like he's getting exposed on spin. It's like spin low and out, and he's snapping and tilting right off of that son of a gun. So like that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about because I follow this guy on Instagram who he actually played. You played against him. He was in the Orioles organization, and he is a snap and tilt guy. He swears up and down that that's how you generate force. That's how you generate force efficiently. That's how you maximize your. I would love to take a teacher man seminar where he has that light thing and I'm just dipping and ripping and I want to get that move down and compare that to like a regular setup. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and you know what makes me so upset about it is it's like to me, the only thing wrong with it is the path, the bat path. So he's talking about like you got to sink into your turn. Okay, I'm with you. You want to release the barrel. Okay, we're talking. You want to tilt, and I'm like, you talking about this way? And he's like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like you got to be direct to the ball, dude. Like you're gonna. So I am with him on like, hey, I want to release my barrel too, but I don't want to do it here. What like this point the barrel to the ground thing is like one of the worst. He's obviously coach 9U or 10U or 11U baseball. These kids are under the ball constantly. Like I am constantly like, and it pains me, but because sometimes I'd rather them stay on playing. But like I got to be like, dude, hit above the ball. And so anytime this guy's talking about tilting the barrel to the ground, it will never. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but I do know that like the sinking in your back leg and whipping the barrel, like I just don't want to whip it here. I want to whip it there. There. Just you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. And
infuriates me. It makes me crazy. Crazy. Easy. What movie is that off of? I don't even remember.
Benchwarmers.
Oh, Benchwarmers. He breaks the bat.
Yeah. And then is that Reggie Jackson in the
Reggie Jackson breaks his bat. Easy, Reggie. He's like
Jackson. Easy. That's a good
is that what you agree with though? Like, and like you can't just drop into your back leg, right? You got to get a move. I get it, but like the force from the ground, the sink into the turn, the release the barrel. It's just he's releasing it back here, and like his path is like he's trying to just dip under it and skyrocket this thing, and like you have to be direct, is what I think.
Yeah, and I careful with words with the man guy because like. There's people who hate him. Like you say you hate him. There's people out there that hate that guy. And
yeah,
like,
they would burn his house down.
Massive hate. But there are thousands of people who have completely bought into this guy. And he might be like a snake oil salesman. I don't know. I guess for some people it works. But all I know for a fact is a kid who has zero body control, who's already missing under the ball, who's a young kid. You can't teach that to a kid. Like, for example, when I was before this cage that I'm in was built, I was in a different facility and there was other instructors there. And there was this guy who played. I think he just follows the guy on Instagram, the teacher man guy. And he had a 6-year-old in there. And he had the 6-year-old, he had stacked 2 buckets on top of each other and put them behind him. And he had the 6-year-old with a PVC pipe whacking the bucket like this, like just whacking it. And my dad was there, and I turned to him, and I was like, you see this? You see this? You see this? My dad's like, you know what? I love that. And my dad's like, I love that because that kid's going to be ruined, and then they're going to come to guys like you and Landon and you guys are going to fix those kids. And I'm like, unfortunately, that's what happens for a lot of, at least for me, and what I think happens to a lot of kids is like, he's probably got a pretty damn good swing. I think young kids, they have great swings if you just give them a bat and they just swing the thing. It's just people telling them to do this, and then they're like way under, and it's a mess.
Man.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I think whatever that's kind of off topic. I'm not even on the same wavelength. I was just going to talk. Anyway, go on.
I'm with you. All I know is that if you line up, Barry Bonds is the hitter man, teacher man guy, right? Barry's like, hey, Barry Bonds does this. You line up Barry Bonds, you line up Ken Griffey Jr., whoever, they're not snapping. I mean, they're
turning. Yeah.
They're turning. Like if you line up a guy who snaps and you line up a guy who gets to the top of the ball, they all look the same. So it's like we're all trying to get to the same spot. I guess.
It's how you think about it, man.
There's ways to skin the calf. You just find a way that works, I guess.
Yeah, bro. It's cat. Who told you calf?
Calf? It sounds odd. Skin a cat.
Yeah, no, it's cat. I'm pretty sure.
Like a meowing kitty cat?
Meow. Yeah. However you want to think about that cat.
What kind of Jeffrey Dahmer stuff is that? Skin a cat?
I don't know, but it's cat.
All I know is you can't snap it. You know what? I'm going to say it. That's stupid. And if you're snapping and tilting, you're wrong, and your instructor's wrong too. Listen to Landon. He knows everything. He's all foreseeing.
Dude, you know what?
I talked myself out of it. I was giving him some grace, and I just talked myself out because it's just so unbelievably bad in my mind. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying right now. Get to the top of the hill.
Yeah, just be better.
Be better. I don't even know what we were talking about. Mechanics Monday. We were talking about getting off the leg. We totally covered some ground there. What were you going to say? Because you were going to say something that was totally off topic.
Man, it's funny.
8.5 minutes. Tell me right now.
Okay, it's kind of a shout out. It's kind of not, because like I have a kid who I've been working with recently, and a lot of my kids listen to this, and I don't know if he does or not. Paxton Hammond. But like we've been working together, and he is this like dominant hitter. Like he switch hits, he hits bombs, but apparently he like came off a really, really good year last year when he wasn't on my team, and then they moved over to my team, and man, he has had a good year. He's probably hitting like 700, but he hits the ball like 900 miles an hour off the bat directly to the shortstop or around it, or he smashed it to the outfield. But it's like he's just not doing as good as he should, because he feels like he should have 9 homers already, and he has 0. And like it's the same thing we're talking about, is like being direct to the ball, and like how this is what made me think of it is like this kid's swing is elite, like one of the best, and he loses confidence in it because like he's one of the kids that like is just thinking about all the mechanics and stuff like that, and how long, what he needs to do and how he needs to do it. And I just think that like kids like that, you should just get up there and smash, because the more mechanics you think about it, the worse off you're going to be, because he wants to be good so bad. I mean, he is good, but he wants to be like the best so bad that he's going to take what you say. And I love kids like this. He takes exactly what you say, and it's like just rolls with it, and like good, bad, or in between, he'll have 6 thoughts at the plate. But it's funny because what I'm telling him is like he stands up, so he'll be this way, and he'll start in a good angle, and when he swings, he'll get up out of it a little bit, causing him to roll to short. And then also, if he stays in it, he'll kind of drop his bat down, and he starts leaning back like that, and he gets under. He's under a lot if he doesn't come out of his swing. And I just think like, dude, he hit a couple foul balls this weekend. He hits it the hardest of anybody I got, for sure. And he hit a foul ball about 900 feet. And the only thing he did different mechanically, mentally, he just wasn't thinking about it, so he did great. But mechanically, he was like in his angle, but also direct to it. Like here's my pin bat. That way, instead of like either this way and under, or this way and up. And dude, Paxton, if you're coming to a lesson on Tuesday and you're listening to this, when you get this down, you're gonna hit 9 million home runs. And I love you. Shout out.
It's And I was going to ask that question, three-question topic deal at the end, but I guess we'll bring that up now. I mean, we only got 5 minutes, 58 seconds left. We talked about this before, man. If in the game, if you're thinking mechanically, you're wrong. You just have to.
Yeah.
And I saw a drill on Twitter, or not Twitter, on Instagram. It's actually pretty cool. I mean, that guy had a double cage, double lane. He slid the middle cage, and he had like 5 home plates. So like there was the original home plate, and then a home plate to the right a little bit further, and then to the left up, and it was all over the place. And he would take a swing, and it was like a high velo softball pitching machine, and he was taking swings at every single plate. So it was like some is like short distance at an angle, some were long distance, like ball coming at your hip. And the whole point was like, this is going to suck really bad. And the mechanics go out the window. Now you're just an athlete, hit the ball mode. And that's beautiful, man. That's where it's at, because that's the game.
Yeah. And I'm guilty of it too, because when I'm on third base, I mean, I'm a hitting coach at heart, and hit mechanics of hitting a baseball, I dare to say I'm up there with the best of them. And so like I see a swing and I'm cursed with this, because it's like in a game and I'm like, hey, do this better. And I do that sometimes and I hate myself for it. But I know if I don't say it, I'm not doing them a service either. Right.
Yeah.
Because like, and so it's just really hard to do it, because I have kids that I know they could get better at this one little thing, but if I leave it for 4 days until the next practice, I'm not going to remember. And I don't know, but kids, yeah, don't think, just smash. Just smash. I mean, and make adjustments. If you're under, this should be your thoughts. If you're under the ball 2 times in a row, the next one you should probably try to be over the ball. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
It's hard. It speeds up. You might forget, but practice it. Practice hard stuff, be an athlete, and then make adjustments, small adjustments on the fly. And that's where the beauty's at. Can we break?
Break.
You good for that?
Good.
Lit. We're back. Landon, do you want to hear something tragic that happened to me this morning?
Yeah.
I woke up, I ate, I got my accounting in, because I am the CEO and CFO of Big Time Baseball. So we all our own accounting. Did that, and I'm also my chief editor for Big Time Baseball Media. And I was editing my Mindset Monday video that I forgot to film last week. So I knocked one out on Saturday, real quick, inspirational, motivational, whatever. Got halfway done with it this morning and realized that the audio cut out, the back half. And I'm just like, yep, I love that.
Tough.
Yeah, but we're back.
What are you going to do? No Mindset Monday?
Nope, I filmed it before I hopped on here.
Nice. Good for you.
Real puffy-eyed, and it was like, we're going to Monday. But hey, we got to get it in. We got to get it in, dude. That was a gritty decision. And this is the Gritty Guys Pod.
Gritty decision.
Speaking of that, we have an ad break. That, guys, I don't know if you know this. That's Coach Landon Dietrich. You know what? And he has probably the top facility, the most kick-ass facility in not only the Texas area, in the world.
In the world? Are you serious?
In beautiful Riesel, Texas, the Barrel Factory. All them lanes. He's got a big old weight room. He's got a field on the side. Hey, teams there. They're all real, real good. And if you're in the neighborhood, stop by and take a visit. Grab a hat, meet Landon Dietrich, get an autograph. It's pretty cool. I have an online program. If you're looking for some online lessons, let me know. Jaden Fine BTB Barrel Factory on Instagram. I appreciate your time. Now back to your scheduled programming.
Dude. Yeah. Hey, so how do you be gritty? What's gritty to you?
To me,
as a ball player, like, what is gritty?
Gritty to me is through not only the downs, but the ups. Through downs and ups and downs, good and bads,
continuing to stay the course and doing what you need to do on a daily basis. Get yourself ready to play and to be the best player that you can be that day. Because you're not going to be the best player every day. But you have to do what you need to do, regardless of any outside factor, whether it be heat, snow, tired, sore, BS, meaning coaches, dumb situations. Your car breaks down. You got to freaking run to the field. Your socks don't get washed. You got to wear those socks. You may get athlete's foot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody steals your towel. So you got to shower with a dirty towel. Whatever you got to do, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And listen,
whatever you got to do.
It doesn't happen overnight. You got to get kicked in the balls a little bit to create some of that. Because me and Landon, and this is, I think this rings true for a lot of people. Me and Landon are gritty. I remember, guys, Barrel Factory people, Landon Dietrich is one of the most hardworking human beings I've ever met. He was in, and people before Barrel who have not been to the old place, the brick building, that was gritty. It was
that was gritty.
I did it. I was with you for a summer. It's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, that's tough.
You know what? We did it, man. I remember we would push the porta cooler across the street. And then there were days where I couldn't push the damn thing up the little incline back into the building.
Yeah.
And you had to do it for me. Did we complain about it? Yeah, on occasion. We did. But you know what? We had a job. And we got it done, man. And we helped. And we did it, man. We made lemons. You made lemons. And the fruits of your labor paid off. That's another lesson in itself.
Dude, everybody who ever took a lesson in the old Barrel Factory at Mart, Texas, you are certified gritty by Landon Dietrich and Barrel Factory. Dude, the parents used to be sweating. In the summer, the parents would just sit there and they'd be like, it's pretty hot in here. And they would just be sweating. If you're a parent of somebody who went in there, you're certified gritty.
Barrel Factory parents, thank you. And you get a gritty sticker too. Because, wow. And baseball, I think, might be the grittiest sport. Not only because it's hard, but like if you make it to the big league, you're playing 162 games.
A lot of games.
That is so many games.
And 40 in spring training.
Man, because that leads into real life. I think that's why baseball players end up being real successful after baseball. Because like we just don't stop. We just don't. You and I and guys like Cootsie and Quaid. I mean, it's just baked into you. Like, okay, we get up at 6, we got to do early work, we got to play. It's just, I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think gritty means? I didn't even I just went on the whole thing there.
No. I think all the stuff you mentioned was stuff off the field, and I love that because like it's not hard to be gritty on the field. It's great. Like a lot of people are gritty. Some people aren't, but like run the bases hard, slide hard, go for the dive for the ball, get hit by a pitch if you need to. Like all that stuff is like gritty, but it's so easy. Like it's easy to do, right? The stuff that's not easy to do, that's gritty, that's the real gritty, is like not missing 6 a.m. weights or not missing early hitting, or I mean it could be anything like that.
Getting done.
Huh?
Getting schoolwork done.
Getting homework done. How you do something is how you do everything. So like if you can't pass your classes, dude, I'm not saying you have to be all A's. Like that would be great. And most of you kids probably are. But like if you can't at least get your stuff done, like if you can't turn your homework in, I do not want you on my team at all because it's not that hard to pass a high school class. I'm telling you, it's really not. And if that's a shot at anybody who's failed one, I don't care because the teachers, at least mine, they don't want you to fail. You know how much of a storm they have to go through if they fail you, and your coach has to be like, well, why did he fail? What happened? And then your mom and dad have to be like, well, you're just the worst teacher ever. And only thing that happened is you refuse to turn in your homework or do it. You are the biggest scum of the earth, because like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard. But all you think about, like, this is, if it was like a score sheet of your baseball, of your baseball thing, it should be like, sleep schedule, B, attitude on the field, A, effort on the field, A plus, weight room, A or B, schoolwork, A or B. But instead, and then drip, it should be like a C. But instead, it's like drip, A plus plus. Effort when you're in the game, A. Schoolwork, C. Sleep schedule, D. Social life, A plus plus. Weight room, F. It's like you got warm up routine, F. You guys are tragic, man. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing.
Before we get into our next little question segment, because I thought about this when you were going there, because that was really good stuff. I want to know your thoughts on this. I think if you want to play professional baseball as a kid, you are much better off going the college route. Obviously, if you're in high school and you're a prospect and you're going to make $6 million in the draft in the first round, think about that. That's probably pretty cool. But for the majority of other people, that's why college is so great, and that's why it was so great for me. Because like, if you find a good school and a good coach, you learn all of this stuff in college, not only from your coach, but from school and from being around other human beings and having like responsibility, and even your teammates. Because if you have good upperclassmen and you're not doing stuff at the standard of like your program that your program sets, you're gonna get bullied. Like, and that's just what it is. Like, it's what it is. You're going to get bullied, and people are going to hate you because you're not doing what you need to do. So that's why, like, all of the college guys, majority of the college guys that we played with, we were solid. We figured it out. We had our routines. We were professionals. Like, we learned how to be professionals in school, and that's where we did that. Versus, I think high school guys, they have a tough time not only being away from home, having, responsibility. They may not have that, or mommy and daddy may be taking care of that for them when they're in the house and in high school, and you get thrown into a pool of, and it's easier for them a little bit because they have $7 million behind them, but it's tough because if you haven't had responsibility, or you haven't, been kept to a standard, it's tough to do if you're,
on your own,
right.
Pro,
Yeah.
Man, I think I have the actual medicine for this. Like, I know exactly, like, I feel strongly about what I'm about to say, and I think it's 100% correct.
Let's hear it.
Ready? Okay. If you're a kid, I don't know how many kids that are listening to this that might sign first round, but if you're a kid who has a chance to play pro baseball out of high school, this is what I want to tell you. Okay. I feel strongly about this. College will be a life-changing experience for you. It will change your whole life. So if you're thinking about going to play pro baseball, the money you make from pro baseball better change your life, right? And I'm not talking about making it to the big leagues, because that's everybody's plan, right? But there's a lot of first rounders that don't do it. If you get $6 million, that will change your life forever. Go play pro baseball, man. Congrats. Good. Work hard while you do it. Learn your stuff, do your thing, have fun. If you're going to get $120,000, that will change your year. That will not change your life. That will not change your life. So go to college. Go to college, and that will change your life, because you're going to meet people. You're going to meet some of your best friends of all time. Right. You're going to have a coach that is trying to actually develop you. And I know it's a little different with the transfer portal and NIL and stuff like that, and whatever it is, what it is. But your experiences in college will literally help shape who you are. And so you need to do it. I still think that, and of course the thing that comes up is like, well, what if I get hurt and I never get to play pro baseball? You know how much different my life would be if I didn't play pro baseball and I just stopped at college? I'd be the same person. I thought when I was there, when I was in college and when I was your age, kid, I used to be like, man, I have to play pro baseball if I want to be anybody in life. Like, I'll only be cool if I play pro baseball. No, not true. Some of the people I respect most as baseball coaches and baseball minds didn't even play in college. Like,
Yeah.
it playing pro baseball will not make you any cooler. People don't care about you, man. They just don't. Like, the only person who's worried about that is you. And just if it'll change your life, take the money. If it won't change your life by going to college, because it'll be the most fun you ever had.
Yeah. And from a financial standpoint, kids, I know you don't pay taxes yet, but 120 isn't 120.
Yeah, no.
Take Uncle Sam's going to get some of that. So it's really like,
Yeah.
100, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was awesome. I love that.
Man, laying it down, you know.
If I had a media department, or if we did, I would clip that and post that, because I cannot agree more. And I was saying it the nice way. Go to college. Good Lord. It's awesome. It's so fun. Did you enjoy your college experience? I'm sure you did.
Dude, if I could go back to one, like, if I could redo one stage of my life, which I wouldn't, because like I love my fiance, I wouldn't change a thing, obviously, but like if I could replay something, it wouldn't be little league, it wouldn't be high school. I would replay college.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so fun.
It's fun. It was just,
dude, the guys you meet in college like are some of my greatest friends. They are.
Yep.
Dude, I am like gonna tear up thinking about it. College baseball is so much fun. Like, it's just a grind. It's a grind out there, but like it feels, dude, man.
There's something beautiful about, and you kids who play football or whatever, you youngins may get this. There's something so beautiful about meeting a bunch of guys who are from different places, who you're now on the same team and you may not know each other. And then you get to the fall and your coach goes, "Hey, you're going to get on the line and you're going to experience real pain that you've never felt before. And you're all going to do it together for about an hour and a half. And by the end of that hour and a half, when you're exhausted and you want to die, and you bond so heavily with those people. That's why they become your best friends, because you suffer so hard. Oh my, when you're in your scrimmages in the fall and you make a poo-poo play and your coach freaks out on the field and goes, "Get on the line, get to the fucking elbow." And you're like, "No, oh my." You'll look back and be like, those are some of the best times, man.
Oh, dude. Hey, and I got infinite wisdom on this, I guess. But like, I just think, dude, a common struggle will bring anybody together, right?
Yeah.
Like, if Trump and Kamala would just get in the grinder of West Palm Beach together, they'd probably love each other at the end of it. But I am telling you this, when you look back, the moon shines brighter when you think back on it, right? So it's not like it's a Luke Combs song, I'm pretty sure. But like, anytime you think about something, when you're in the moment, you're like, it was whatever. But when you look back, you're like, oh, I miss it. You only think about the good times. And like, dude, college baseball was the good times, man. Like, that was the good stuff. So fun.
And guys, if kids in high school, young kids, this is something that you can look forward to, because we're being so serious. It is the best. If you want motivation, don't play to get into pro ball. Play to get to college. Play to get to college and meet some awesome people, to go through some cool stuff. I could smell the turf. I could close my eyes and smell the burning turf at San Diego State, the ones where we ran on. I could smell it, and I could put myself in that moment.
Dude, I am like questioning telling a couple stories that I probably shouldn't, that are like so funny that like they are. Should I do it?
Do it. Go get one. I got a couple that come to mind. You go for it.
Okay. I mean, what else are we doing at 10:30 on a Monday? Listen, this one's crazy, and all the kids are going to hear this one, and I hate this, but I'm going to say it anyway. So if you're a Barrel Factory kid, cut the pod. Good day to you. Have fun. Go do something else. But so I lived like right down the road from the baseball field and the practice football field. And so we would all get together at my house sometimes and do whatever we were doing on Saturday night or Sunday night or whatever. And, so anyway, late at night, we'd be like, we liked the football players my last couple years, but the first couple years we did not. We did not get along with football. Football and baseball like had some feuds. And so we were like, I know what we'll do. We'll go pee on the practice football field, just try to pee all over it, and where they're rolling in it the next morning. And so it's like, yeah, let's go do it. So it's dark. We just go piss on the practice football field, and we laugh when we roll by and they're rolling in it the next morning. And like, again, my junior, senior year, we love the football players, but this didn't stop just because it's an inside joke. And it's like, dude, I mean, it had been 12 hours since we did it. They're not really probably
They'll be
rolling.
all right.
Anyway, we had to go through a Hell Week at UMHB. And so we had a little gathering before Hell Week, and we did what we do. We just went over there, pissed all on the football field. Well, we get calls and dorm wake ups. We didn't know what Hell Week was yet. It's like 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. and they're like, this is what we're going to do. We are going to bear crawl the entire length of the practice football field. And so we had just pissed all over it like hours before. And I mean, talk about dude, we're crawling through it and we're like, dog, this is like, we're looking at each other like, oh my gosh, dude, I'm trying to avoid, like, I try to get to the far right of the field because I feel like I know where we all, oh, dude, tragic.
That is an unfortunate turn of events for you boys. That is crazy. That's just right there.
We had never done anything on the football field, and it was like, the theme of today is quiet. Like, you gotta get with your teammates, and you're not allowed to say anything this whole round. And it's like, you got to bear crawl here and barrel roll back, and we're doing like Navy SEAL training. It's like, it was already muddy too, because like they water the field at like 4 and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, and like we're doing bear crawls through it. My knees are scraped up, my elbows are scraped up, and I just know I'm rolling through piss. Oh my gosh.
He was like, gotta be quiet. Like, that is so unfortunate. Man, you must not like them guys.
Man, I did at the end, but it just stuck. It's like, it gets to be like 12:30 and we're like, yep, let's go.
It's funny how, because even at San Diego State, like the football guys were okay. It's funny how everybody falls into their own factions. You know, it's like football, basketball, baseball, and then golf or whatever the hell else is there. But it's like
tennis and golf and stuff.
Tennis and golf, they just hang out on their own. It's like we just didn't like the football guys because they thought they were better than us.
Exactly.
We're the frat guys at San Diego State. We hated the frat guys, and they hated us. And I think, sneaking suspicion, it's because the sorority girls, they like to hang out with us, and they like to come to the baseball parties. But that's neither here nor there. They hated us. We hated them. Football. We never pissed on their dorms or nothing like that. Like they would have probably shot us. But gosh, that's good, man. That's good.
Yeah, no, and dude, you know what the beautiful thing about a small college is too, is like the first couple years we hated those guys, and I just did because everybody else did. But like my junior and senior year, it's such a small college that like if you're an athlete, you kind of know each other, right? Like we'll have meetings, like full athlete meetings together, and so we get to know each other. And then like when we all the junior seniors turned 21, we'd go out together, and it was like all the groups, like kind of the cool kids of every group would go out. And it's like, dude, I remember a couple times when like some other college kids would come down, like Texas State kids would come down or something like that. And it was like, we stuck together. Like at first we hated each other and you fall into factions, but when you're such a small college, like the small community, like two guys on the tennis team were like two really good friends of mine. I had great friends on the football team, a couple basketball guys that I knew super well. And it was like so fun that like we all kind of got together, and it was like, I don't know, it's just funny because I didn't go to a big high school either. It was almost like going to a big high school when like the athletic kids were like, hey, what's up? You balled last week. I saw on Twitter you hit 2 bombs. And I'm like, yeah, didn't you get a hat trick in the soccer game? Like, let's go, baby. We're grinding out here. It's like so sick, man. So sick.
So funny. Can I tell a funny story about how I ended up with Alcoholics Anonymous at San Diego State?
Yeah, sure. Bro, it's gone by now, right?
Your kids. So I'll just explain the whole story. So context: me, and my best friend in Simi Valley, California, that we went to high school together. The whole thing. He also went to San Diego State. He was a NARP, a non-athletic regular person. For those of you who don't know that, he was a NARP. So he lived in the other dorm. So there was one night freshman year, and in the dorms, I don't know how it was for you. All of the athletes lived in the same dorm, all the freshman athletes, all the men, all the women. Not a good idea, by the way.
Did not have it when I was at.
13-story building. Everyone not good. Anyways, my buddy lived across the way in the dorm, probably half a mile down the street. So there was one night, it was a Saturday, I think, in the fall or whatever. Me and my buddy Connor, we were getting some food or whatever. We came back to my dorm. We were just hanging out. So I got back to my room, and there was like a small, and this was before I met my beautiful girlfriend Madison, who I love you dearly. She don't watch this. I love you. Before I met her, me and my buddy Connor got back to our apartment or our dorm, and we walk in, and there's about 5 ball players in there, freshman ball players, and there's literally 9 Alpha Phi sorority girls in there. Hand of God, I was not there. Connor was not there. They were enjoying a couple of adult beverages, which is not, again, hand of God. I was not there. I was not enjoying these adult beverages. We got in there. We were just hanging out. I didn't want to be a narc because only narcs narc. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only narcs narc. So we're just in there hanging out. Everybody's having a good time. My buddy, of course, because he's a nerd. He's a total nerd at the time. He's like, oh, I'm going to leave. He opens the door, and of course, the RA walks and is like, what? And the door shuts, and you're banging on the door. And we're like, oh my gosh. So like my roommate grabs all of this liquor and throws it in my hamper, like takes my dirty clothes out, throws it in my hamper. And everybody's like, just play it cool, man. So they came in, and the only thing that they found was my roommate's margarita mix. No alcohol, just margarita mix. Naturally, we all get written up because everybody in the situation gets written up. And we're just like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst thing ever. Coach is going to fire us. We had a whole meeting with our coaching staff. So me and my 3 teammates were in there, and it was our whole coaching staff, head coach, pitching coach, hitting coach. And our hitting coach lays into us. And then our head coach is like, yeah, you think you understand the message? Like, this, you can't do this. Like, we know that you guys are upset. We're going to suspend you for 1 fall game, whatever. We weren't going to play anyways. And we ended up playing. But anyways, the only thing that they found was 1 Mike's Hard lemonade, the margarita mix and the Mike's Hard. So everybody that says their piece, our pitching coach is to the right, and they're like, Sam, you got anything? And he's like, you're drinking Mike's Hard? How soft are you?
Yeah, I love that.
What? He's like, you're that soft? No Coronas, nothing. Mike's Hard. That was the only, and the rest of my career at San Diego State, he would go, really? Mike's Hard, huh? That's unbelievable. I'm like, oh. Anyways, we get written up. When you get written up, you have to go to student services and write 3-page essay about what you did and why you shouldn't do it again. And then you had to do 3 hours of therapy. So again, hand of God, I wasn't drinking. I still to this day, I'm boring ass Landon. I'm in Alcoholics Anonymous. Me and the therapist are sitting with each other, and she's like, how many drinks you have a day? I'm like, none. I'm a 0. She's like, how many drinks do you have a week? I'm like, 0. Like, she's like, well, you seem pretty normal. You seem pretty cool. So then we just turned into therapy. And it was just me and this nice lady just hanging out, talking for 3 hours.
Wow.
We started talking about school. I had just gotten through a relationship from Royal, from my high school. And we're just talking about my relationship with this nice lady.
Wow.
And then I wrote the essay, and I got it signed off, and everything was good. And then I missed the lady, and I missed the therapy sessions.
Did you go back?
I didn't go back. No.
Oh, dude.
But I guess the lesson there, kids, don't do what I did. Maybe have better friends. I don't know. Because,
dude,
it was so stupid.
Hey, you know what? I was nervous for us to go to this side of, because I know a lot of the kids watch it. The kids, I not appreciate, because some of them will come up to me and be like, really pissing on a football field? Really? But I think the parents will really enjoy this.
Listen, hey, I've heard of far worse.
Yeah.
I've seen far worse. And if the parents, Gritty Guys, if you like this episode of Gritty Guys After Dark, parents, let Coach Landon know. Well, hey, we'll get into it. We might do
I
a
don't know.
secret release party.
I
We may
don't know.
do
We'll
it
do
and
that.
then just send the podcast to specific people. That may be a fun
Yeah.
idea.
Dude, you know what the bad part is I could talk more about that stuff probably, but I just don't, dude. I
No,
can't
we
have
get too much,
eight-year-olds.
too much
I
going
can't
on.
have the 8-year-olds watching.
No, we got too much going on. Can we do one? I have one baseball question before we done.
Yeah.
'Cause that was fun. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah. I'll find out if we are glad or not when how many kids come up to me and ask me about that.
We'll figure. Yeah, we'll cross that bridge. Back to baseball. I growing up, I never played with any switch hitters. Zero. My whole career. Like from 7 to until college, I played with a little bit, but now I have 4 switch hitting players under the age of 12. How do you work with what does your process look like with the switch hitting kid? So let's say if you have him for an hour, how do you go about making adjustments? Is there like, do you go half and half? Do you go one round right-handed and then fix that, and then one round left-handed and fix that, or do you mix them? What do you do?
So first off, I have 2 switch hitters. One of them's under the age of 12. One of them's a senior in high school, and both of them are dominant right, and so they the under 12 hits way better lefty than the senior. Not that the senior's bad at it, he just doesn't do it as much. And so both of them we just work on their right-handed swings, and then they work their self on their left-handed swings, because I think under 12 it's more about understanding what you're trying to do, and then if you learn it you can do it, so you can practice on your own. But I was asked, like, what do you think about it? What should you do it? Should you not do it? And I think when you're 12, it's not going to help you win games, because people don't have the just dirtiest slider or changeup that they can mix in. Like, it's just, normally you would want to hit like lefty versus righty and righty versus lefty, so you could take away that curveball and but like and the fastball will run into you and stuff like that, and I get it. But like at 12, no one throws good enough to worry about it. But when you get in high school and when you get recruited and when you get in college, if you can hit both ways well, that will help you a lot, I think, tremendously. Yeah. So when you're under 12 and you're switch hitting, I think you need to do it. I think you need to work it and keep it in and keep doing it. And I think it should be awesome, because use it as a tool that you don't want to lose. But I don't think you're going to be using it to like win games. But like the one that's under 12 is the kid I mentioned earlier, the big, huge kid that smashes. And it's like, we'll get up in a game and he's like, can I hit left-handed? I'm like, absolutely. Like, you need to keep that in your bag, like, for sure, because one day it's going to really help. Yeah. But as for lessons, like, they're predominantly right. So we just hit right, and then they work on their lefty swing by themselves. If that,
Yeah. Like the one kid he's 8 years old, and he's one of the most legit switch hitting kids I have. And he never hits right-handed because there's not a lot of lefties. So most of his cage work will hit right-handed, just because he doesn't get reps right-handed. But when he's on his own or in the games, he's hitting left-handed because he's not facing a bunch of lefties. As far as like work, like, because I love video, I'm that, and I'm always videoing, and like not only that, but you have to switch sides a lot, and it puts stuff down. So I almost thought like, hey, because I had the kid for an hour, the switch hitter, full hitting, I almost thought about like first half, lefty half, and then the second half is righty half, because then if I was thinking, because for a 12-year-old that's kind of a lot. If you have different problems on different sides. Yeah, switching, that's a lot going on up here. So maybe it's like, okay, dial them in one side, get them going good, and then the last half go the other side. Because if you're switching, that's a lot. But
the problems are different on both sides. Like my senior that's a switch hitter, his swing on the right-handed side is 150% different than his left-handed side. Not better or worse, but like it looks like a different kid, different swing.
Right. And that makes sense because if you're a right-handed dominant guy and you're right-handed, your right hand's on your top hand. When you're left-handed, you may lose it under. I don't know. I can't imagine being a switch hitter. That'd be a lot.
I know it.
I mean, it would be good. And then you can turn into Lindor. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
We got 7 minutes. Do you have anything else?
I did not, man. That was great. I hope Barrel Factory After Dark doesn't get me in trouble, or Gritty Guys After Dark.
That wasn't that bad. It can get worse.
Yeah, it could. It could get raunchy.
It can get raunchy real quick. You got to pay for that subscription.
Yeah. If you want hey, that's what it is. If you want
the Gritty Guys Pod After Dark, we can do that, but it's going to be $50 a month. Sorry about that. There's no budget on that price, too.
Yeah, dude, that's stuff I don't want out there. I'll tell you that. Dude, I just love how you were like,
go to our Patreon, Gritty Guys Patreon.
Dude, the funniest part was you were like, and this was before I met my beautiful girlfriend, Madison. I love you, baby. I love you. Love you. It's just so funny to me.
We met shortly after that. Before that, Sorority Central. Sorry about that. Wait, we're handsome. What do you? It's not our fault. Guy, dude. We didn't do it. Wasn't our fault. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Let's enjoy our Sunday.
Don't put me in this.
You put that on me. Come on.
I was dreaming of Carly before I even knew who Carly was.
Right. 100%. Yeah, Carly, we love you. Madison, I love you. I hope you have a great day. I'm so sorry.
Love you, baby. Baby, I just love you so much.
That's all we got, man. Jaden Fine BTV. Follow me on Instagram. Landon Dietrich Barrel Factory. Follow him on Instagram. We appreciate you watching for this kind of a funny episode. Funny. Enjoy your day, Landon. I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Okay, I love you, man. See you.
Love you. Bye.
And we're out.